Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio with Brian Leonard. Brian, Seattle, Washington, Monday Night Football. Boy, are we going to get to play some of my favorite sayings, and the first one that comes to mind is no team is as bad as their worst game. And boy, did the Washington Redskins look as bad as you could possibly look. And they did it on national TV, which we always talk about. It's one thing to look bad, but to look bad on a national spotlight just magnifies it.
This whole situation at quarterback for the Washington Redskins is why playing the NFL as a bettor drives you crazy. 2 weeks ago, RG3 is gone. Then the new guy comes in, oh, he's better anyway. And I was one of those. I just think he fits better with this offense. Not that he's a better quarterback.
I agree with you 100%.
I just think he fits better with the offense. He has a terrible game. Now they're thinking, oh, what's Washington going to do? Number one, their first guy is hurt and he's not any good. Second guy isn't any good. What's Washington going to do?
Well, they're going to play on Monday night against the Seattle Seahawks. That's what they're going to do. Yeah, and I was with you. I mean, when Kirk Cousins took over the first week against Philadelphia, even though it was a loss, you know I do the NFL Megapod with Gil Alexander every week, and you can also find that podcast at WagerTalk.com each week. I said to Gil, because Gil's a big Washington Redskin fan, and he has a man crush on RG3, I said, Gil, on the podcast, I said, RG3, and this is before he played well against Washington, I said RG3 may never take a snap again as quarterback of the Washington Redskins because this offense is suited better for Kirk Cousins. And we saw it all preseason. Kirk Cousins put up good numbers in the preseason. RG3 did not. And he had the big game against Philly in defeat, and everybody, he was the toast of the town. 4 days later, everybody's crying that, you know, well, this is why he was a backup quarterback. And he looked horrible. Now, how much of that was, do you write it off to one bad game? Did the Giants do something to cause him problems? And now, in theory, because the Giants aren't on anybody's depth chart as the top, one of the top defenses in the league. They are facing probably the best secondary in all of the NFL this week. What's he do this week?
Yeah, I'm going to give a bonus pick. I know this is your pick here, but this is one of those situations for myself. Obviously, it calls for a teaser. When you have what I consider the best team in the NFL in a tease, you're looking for them to just win the game. You do have the backup quarterback for Washington. You've got the best defense, or one of the best defenses. Now, granted, Seattle's not playing at home. They have a huge home field edge. But in my opinion, Washington's going to have a hard time winning this game, even though the value may be there eventually, because I think this line will go up over a touchdown is where it's sitting right now. But my keys for my teasers this week are Detroit, which I think is still a little bit underrated. They're laying 7 right now. Seattle laying 7. So we're playing 6-point teaser. They got to lay 1. That's minus 110 on those two, and it's a nice teaser play for me. And a lot of guys I've talked to are in the same boat as I am.
All right. Well, this is my free play, and I'm not going to get involved in the game because, you know, fundamentally as bad as Washington looked in a home Monday night dog, I'm supposed to give a look there, but I just can't do it. I'm looking at the total, and what I'm looking at is if I am the coaching staff of the Washington Redskins and I looked at the game film from last Thursday night, and then I look at the game film of the defense that we're going to be facing, I'm not going to put Kirk Cousins in positions to make mistakes. I am going to trim down my game plan. I'm going to try to simplify things to try to stay in this ball game. And as good as Seattle is, they're not the same football team away from Seattle. They don't score as many points. This is a team that, going back to last year, 5 of their 8 road games, they scored 23 points or less. And this year they played 1 road game and they scored 21 points in that game. I think we're going to look at the under. And the other thing I'm going to talk about, we're going to see this total keep creeping its way up. We talk about it all the time. These marquee games, the public wants to bet the over. And they are. And they're cashing. Brian, I have never seen so many primetime games keep going over. In the Vegas books, they got to cry every Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night with these standalone games because the public just doesn't bet the under. It's not in their DNA. They always want to be live with their bet. In their mind, I can always win the game, and that's what's happening. Even though some of these games start out the first quarter and a half, they might be stone cold unders. things are happening, the games are spiraling out of control and they're getting the overs, and that's just going to keep the public betting the overs.
Just go back a week ago, Kansas City and New England. There's no way that game should have gone over. If you had told me that the quarterback Brady was going to throw those interceptions for touchdowns, nobody saw that coming. My only concern here is, and I agree with you, they're going to try to be conservative. But once again, what if they fall behind 14-0 and they have to pass the ball? That is your concern. You're always worried about a pick six. We saw that last week with New England. That is the concern on this, but I do think you're on the right side here. I do like the under here. Hopefully we can get this up to 47 by game time.
That would be a nice number to have. So there it is. Monday Night Football, we're taping on Wednesday. It is 46 right now. I don't think there's any hurry to run to the betting window and grab that under right now. These primetime games, the public's going to help you out. Wait till you see it peak, and I think it has not peaked yet, but we're going to go under the total Monday Night Football. All right, that's it for this week's NFL action. We'll be back next week here on wagertalk.com. He's Brian Leonard. I'm Marco D'Angelo, and I want to thank Brian again for sitting in for this week's videos. See you next week, guys.